What's up, family? Hey, I want to jump on and have a real deep conversation with you guys today. Okay, it's going to get heavy for some of you. Okay, I acknowledge that up front. You know what I mean? It's going to be deep. Um, Stay with me. We're going to go somewhere. Okay. Um, there's a lot of people ask me, well, how come I never talk about God? How come I never really talk about religion or my religious beliefs? Am I a religious person? Um, do I believe in God and just all of that other stuff. Okay. And I normally don't answer those questions in a open general conversation like this. You know what I mean? Um, my beliefs. I believe that there are so many different religious groups. Stay with me. I'm going somewhere. Okay. There are so many different religious groups, and if you take one person from each of those groups or religious belief systems. If you take one person for each of those belief systems, and if you give each of them a lobotomy, you completely wipe their memory, you completely wipe their mind, and you try to explain to them who God is, what God is, and you take them and you put them around the elephant. They're blind. Each of these individuals are blind. They've never seen an elephant before. They've never heard of an elephant before. And you tell them that this elephant is God. Stay with me. I'm going somewhere. And you tell them that this elephant is God. And if one person you only allow them to experience, to feel the trunk of an elephant. That's all they're able to see. They can't see. All they're able to feel and touch and experience is just the trunk of the elephant. And you define God as this trunk, or you define this elephant as just the trunk. Okay, stay with me. We're going somewhere. And you take another person and you tell them and you allow them to feel the tail of an elephant. The second person is going to walk away thinking, man, this is what an elephant is. Stay with me, I'm going somewhere. And they're going to think that, man, that first person said that an elephant was this, and they defined the trunk. But that's not your experience. Your experience is totally different. You're going to walk away thinking that that first person didn't know what the heck they were talking about. Okay? You're going to walk away thinking that your experience is real, their experience was fake. Because obviously, what they're describing is not what you feel or was not what you experience. So they obviously didn't feel the correct thing. You bring another person in and you let that person feel the leg of an elephant and you tell them that this is all an elephant is. They're going to walk away thinking that both the other people were complete idiots because their experience with this elephant is totally different from what they described in the trunk and in the tail. They're not going to describe it as just a trunk and tail. They're going to define it as this is the elephant. This is all an elephant is. Okay? But this third person is going to walk away with a totally different experience, a totally different feeling. Okay? They're going to walk away with a totally different belief system than the other two people. Stay with me, we're going somewhere. You bring another person in and you let them experience the ears of an elephant. All they know is that this is an elephant. The ear is the elephant, all in of itself. They're going to walk away thinking that the other people are complete imbeciles, because none of them describe this experience that you've had. None of them are even close to this. You have to be the only enlightened one because everybody else, what they describe is completely asinine compared to your experience. Stay with me, I'm going somewhere. And you bring another person in, and they're able to experience the trunk, not the trunk, excuse me, but the tusk of an elephant. Man, this person's walking away. Man, what the hell is all of these people talking about? They're all freaking insane. None of them have described what I'm experiencing. None of them have even come close to talking about what my experience is. They're all wrong. You know what I mean? I'm the only one right. I'm the only one enlightened. I'm the only one that really knows what the elephant is. Stay with me. I'm going somewhere. And so you have all these different people walking away, and each of these people represents a different religious belief system. Okay? The elephant is symbolic of God. Okay? The elephant represents God. The elephant is God. So you have all these religious belief systems. You have all these people walking away with a totally different experience of God. And they think that they're the only ones right. They think that their scriptures or their written documents, their belief system is the only one correct. Stay with me. I'm going somewhere. You bring another person in, and they're allowed to feel the tongue of an elephant. You bring another one in, they're allowed to feel the toenail of the elephant. You bring another one in, and they're allowed to feel something else. You know what I mean? And so everybody walks away with a totally different experience. But for some reason, they think that their experience is all inclusive. For some reason, they think that they're the only ones right when they define or describe their experience with this elephant. When they define or describe their experience with God, for some reason, they walk away thinking that this is who God is and this is all that God is capable of being. Stay with me, I'm going somewhere. So you have all these different religious beliefs. You have all these different people with their own unique experience of who God is. And now they're describing and they're creating religious beliefs based on their experience. Now they're teaching other people based on their experience and their understanding of who God is. And although they're right, they're wrong. I'm going to say that again. Although they're right in their description, although they're right in their experience, they're wrong because they believe that theirs experience or their feelings, their teachings is all inclusive. God is bigger than that. And then you bring in another person who represents atheists, and this person is not allowed to experience the elephant. This person has never heard of the elephant. This person has never seen the elephant. This person's never been in the presence of the elephant. This person's never heard the voice or the sound of the elephant. So they have no comprehension whatsoever of an elephant. They have no comprehension, no understanding whatsoever, no experience, nothing of an elephant. They have so that person, this atheist, has no experience, no presence, no feelings, nothing in regards to God. They've never heard his voice, they've never felt his touch, they've never felt his presence, nothing. And so this person walks away believing, man, I don't believe that elephant exists. I've never seen an elephant. I've never heard an elephant. I've never been in the presence of an elephant. Therefore, it does not exist. Stay with me. I'm going somewhere. I don't believe it exists. And so you can't get mad at the atheist for not believing in God if he's never been in the presence of God, if he's never felt the presence of God, if he's never felt God, if he's never heard God. Obviously, God don't exist to his mind because he can't comprehend that. She can't comprehend God because there's no experience there. Do I believe that God exists? Yes, I believe that God exists. I don't believe that God gives a crap what we call him. I don't believe God gives a crap as far as our religious beliefs. because our religious beliefs are based on our limited experience. Our religious beliefs are based on our limited knowledge. So we don't have all the answers. Our beliefs isn't all inclusive. It can't be. But because of our ego, man, we get all caught up. My way's the only way. Our way's the only way. You can only do this. You can only be this. And that's all ego. That's all ego tripping. Because that creates judgment. That creates division. That creates separation. That creates pride. In the aspect that, man, we're doing it right. We believe the right thing. And all those other people, man, they're going to hell. All those other people, they're wrong. What does that have to do with free will? Does that have anything to do with free will? Stay with me. We're going somewhere. It's going to get heavy. And it's crazy because I hear so many people say that free will exists. But then they say that the devil made other people do those things. The devil possessed and the devil oppressed other individuals and make them react, make them do what they do. Stay with me. I'm going somewhere. It's two different topics: God, the existence of God, and the existence of free will. They're connected, but they're separate. Okay? I want to get that clear. Two different conversations. They're connected, but they're separate, if that makes sense. You can't believe in free will and believe that the devil can make you do anything. I'm going to say that again. You can't believe in free will and then say that the devil made those people do the things they do. The devil is making those people act the way they do. The devil is making those people do anything. Or evil spirits are making people act the way they do. Evil spirits inside those people, evil spirits oppressing and controlling those people are making them act the way they do. Because that's not free will. And that's contrary to even your scriptures. Because your scripture says that the devil has to get permission to do anything. Stay with me, I'm going somewhere. And so if the devil has to go to God to get permission to do anything to you or say anything to you, man, because you have free will, you can choose. You choose how you respond. The devil can do whatever the heck he wants to do, but you have the choice to listen or do something different. Stay with me. Stay with me. We're going somewhere. And it's interesting to me that the same people that says that the devil is in all those other people to make them act the way they do, the same people that say the devil and these evil spirits are inside of these people to make them respond, to make them act up, and to make them da 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 da. That's all demonic. That's all evil spirits. Blah 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 blah. As a kid, one of my first memories of righting wrong, one of my first memories of understanding God and the devil, was that there was two little angels, sitting on your shoulder. Stay with me. We're going somewhere. On one side, you had God speaking into your ear, telling you to do right. On the other side, you had the devil trying to get you to do wrong. Okay? And that's always stayed with me. That's always stayed with me. Because I believe that is as accurate as it is. You know what I mean? And what I mean by that, as humans, we have to come to the understanding, we have to acknowledge the fact that not near one of us is perfect. Nobody's perfect. Nobody. Okay? So, if you're not perfect, if you don't do everything right, if you don't say everything right, then what is it that causes you to do wrong? What is it that causes you to do that which you shouldn't do? What is it that causes you to say that which you shouldn't say? And many people say, well, that's sin. Because you're not perfect, there's sin there. And you follow and you do sin. Okay, well, if you do sin, sin is evil. Sin is wrong. Sin is quote unquote missing the mark. And if you do sin, if you miss the mark, if you're not doing right, then you're obviously listening to the devil. Because God don't want you to do that. God is telling you to do this. But your pride, your ego, your flesh is telling you to do this. And so if you listen to this over here, then you're wrong. Stay with me. We're going somewhere. God won't make you do anything. The devil can't make you do anything. I'm going to say again, God won't make you do anything. And the devil can't make you do anything. We all have free will. We all have the choice to determine how we're going to live our life. And I understand that as kids, we're programmed, you know what I mean, to believe certain crap. We're programmed and brainwashed into being Republican, into being Democrat, into being atheist, into being Christian, into being Muslim, into being Hinduism, into being Buddhism, woo-doo. We're programmed. We don't have a choice in that regard as kids. This is what's pushed on us. Stay with me. We're still talking about free will. This is what's pushed on us. This is what we're programmed. This is what we're taught. Okay? As you grow, you have the ability to accept that. You have the ability to reject that. You have the ability to start thinking for yourself and thinking outside of the box. And say, nah, I can't believe this. I'm not following this. I'm not doing this. Stay with me. We're going somewhere. Because we all have free will. When you get pissed off, you have the choice to react this way or to react this way. You choose how you're going to react. You choose how you're going to respond. Nobody can make you respond anyway. You can either respond in love, or you can respond out of fear, or you can respond out of malice, you can respond out of hatred, you can respond out of jealousy, you can respond out any way you want to. You have that choice. You have that free will. You can respond out of hurt. The choice is yours. The choice is yours. But so many of us, we're not mature enough spiritually, intellectually, and emotionally to embrace that, to understand that. We're not mature enough to handle that. And so we talk about fate. We're not mature enough to handle that. So we talk about the devil made us do that. The devil can't make you do anything. That's all you. That's all you. And we have to get that through our heads. That's all us. That's my choice. I didn't have to choose to act like that. I didn't have to choose to respond like that. I respond the way I do because of the issues I got. And until I learn and understand my issues, I'm never going to understand why I react or why I respond the way that I do. I could say God, I could say the Bible say this, I could say the Quran say this, I could say whatever I want to say. And just because I say it doesn't make it true. Because the reality is, regardless of what I say, the truth is, I chose to respond that way. I chose to respond the way that I did. You choose to respond the way you do. Every decision you make, every action you make, you choose to respond that way. Unfortunately, for so many of us, we respond and we're not even cognizant of the fact that we're making a choice. We're not even mindful of the fact that we're making a choice. So many of us, we're so quick to respond that we don't even stop to think and process our options and why we want to respond, why we want to do what we want to do. Still talking about free will, still talking about God. Is there a God? My beliefs, is there a God? And it all comes back to free will. Free will. Because all those people that experienced a different part of that elephant and they walked away with that experience, they could have gotten together and collaborated and saw a bigger picture. But because their pride, their mind, their ego wouldn't allow them to, because their experience dictates that, man, this is what I felt, this is what I know. So many of us, we get stuck. And we get stuck because we think we know something. And we won't open up our mind. We won't learn to think outside of the box. We won't humble ourselves to learn from somebody else. We won't humble ourselves to understand that, man, you know what? My knowledge is limited. My knowledge is not all inclusive. I do not have all the answers. Let me humble myself so that I may go and learn. Let me humble myself that I may learn from somebody else. And so many of us, we think that, man, if you don't have a title, if you don't have a degree, if you don't have this prestige, then, man, I'm not going to learn from you. You ain't got nothing to teach me. Who are you to think that you know more than I do? Who are you to think that you got more knowledge, more experience than I do? That's all pride. That's all ego. But that's where most of us live at, is in our ego. I believe, my belief, that we all have souls. I believe that our souls are perfect. I'm going to say that again. I believe that our souls are perfect. I believe what is not perfect is our mind. And because our mind isn't perfect, because it's our ego, it's controlled by our ego. And because it's controlled by our ego, now comes in the contradiction. Now comes in the opposites. You know what I mean? Good and evil. Our souls are perfect, but our souls dwell within an incorrupt, excuse me, our souls dwell in a corruptible being, meaning our body, our flesh, our mind. You know what I mean? And so, because our mind controls our flesh, now there's a war going on within us. Now there's a power struggle of good and evil, right and wrong. Our souls are perfect, our souls are righteous. Our mind is not. Our mind is flawed. Our mind is controlled by our ego. And so now there's a struggle going on. Do this, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this. Within every single one of us is good and evil. There's no getting around that. There's no getting around that. Within every single one of us is that yin yang. You know what I mean? Light and darkness. Because your mind is dark. I don't care how knowledgeable you think you are. I don't care how woke you think you are. I don't care how enlightened you think you are. It's where your ego dwells. It's where your insecurities dwell. It's where your traumas dwell. It's where your memory dwells. It's where your hatred dwells. That's where your judgment dwells. That's where your pride and your arrogance dwell. All of that is in the mind. We have to understand that good and bad is in every single one of us. I don't care how righteous you think you are. I don't care how perfect you think you are. I don't care how sanctified you think you are. I don't care how saved you think you are. There's not one of us that don't have issues. There's not one of us that have every single thing figured out. There's not one of us that don't have some darkness within us. Every single one of us do. And that's why we're here. We're here to grow, to understand that. And to help others along the way. And the more that you do that, the more that your light, the righteousness, your soul is able to shine through. The more that your soul is able to not run your life, but when you live your life based on soul principles, as opposed to your mind, as opposed to your ego tripping, the more light you become, the more righteous you become. And so when they talk about let the light in you shine, it ain't your religious beliefs. It ain't your dogma they're talking about. Let your light shine. Let your soul shine. So many of us, our souls are so dark. And it's not that our souls are dark, is we can't really see our souls because of all the other crap that's going on within us intellectually, emotionally, spiritually. You know what I mean? It's so weighed down with all this dogma and just ignorance. And the more we let our soul shine, the less our mind, the less our ego is in control. And so the good and evil, the good, bad, it's the ego, the mind is bad. The soul is good. The soul is right. The soul is perfect. The soul is pure. The soul is love. And so the more that radiates, the less darkness up here, the less trauma, the less issues up here. So many of us live within our head. You know what I mean? We stay in our head. We can't get outside of our head. And we don't understand why we're so depressed, why we're so filled with anxiety, why we're so just like, oh, blah, and just everything else. How come we don't have peace of mind? How come we don't have joy? That joy that passes all understanding because we're up here. We're all up here in our head. We're living out of our head because our ego is in control. My hope and prayer is that you understand that the ego, and every single one of us has an ego, that our ego should never be in control of our lives. We are spiritual beings living, experiencing a human life. We're all spiritual beings having a human experience. So when you ask, who am I? Man, you're your soul. But your ego has you tripping thinking you're something different. Your ego has you tripping thinking that you're a woman, you're a man. There is no male and female when it comes to your soul. There is no American or Japanese or Chinese or Russian or German or Irish or Hispanic or Native American when it comes to your soul. That's all ego stupid crap. There is no Democrat or Republican or any conservative or any of the other crap when it comes to our soul. That's ego crap. There is no black, white, brown, yellow, any of that other crap when it comes to your soul. That's racist ego crap. That's ignorant ego crap to keep us divided, to bring pride, to bring division. To bring religion. My hope and prayer is that we understand who we really are and why we are here. We're not here just to have sex. We're not here just to have kids. We're not here just to have fun. We're not here to be judgmental. We're not here to be self righteous. We're not here to spew the capitalistic dogma. We're not here for any of this stupid stuff. That's not why we came here. Family, we have to understand who we are. Get outside of the I'm a black man. Get outside of I'm a white woman, I'm a black woman. Get outside of that. Get beyond that. Get beyond that. Get beyond the I'm a Christian. Get beyond I'm a Muslim. Get beyond I'm Hinduism. I'm Buddhist. I'm this. I'm Taoist. Man, get beyond all of that. We have to get beyond all of that. That's all ego. That's all mind. That has absolutely nothing to do with your soul. Nothing to do with your soul. I love you guys. Happy healing. Peace.